Once upon a time, there was a man with two wives. One day, his first wife fell gravely ill. She called her two children and said to them, "My dear children, I will soon die. Kiss me and say goodbye." Her children were very sad. "Mother," they said, "our father's second wife hates us. If she does not give us food, what shall we do?" "Don't worry," their mother said. "When you're hungry, go into the forest. You will find someone there who will feed you." The mother passed away, and the two boys cried for many days. Eventually, they went to their father's second wife and said, "Please, we are hungry, let us eat with you." The stepmother replied, "You want me to give you food? I don't have enough for my own children, go away. I have nothing for you." The younger brother began to cry. "I'm hungry," he said to his older brother. "I want something to eat." His older brother took his hand and said, "Don't worry. Remember what our mother said. We'll go into the forest and find someone to feed us there." So the two children went into the forest and came across a kind cow. Every day, the cow gave them food to eat, and the children were happy and never hungry. Meanwhile, the children of the second wife could not understand why the brothers were never hungry and why they went to the forest every day. One morning, the oldest girl said, "I'm coming with you to the forest today. I want to know where you find your food." Her stepbrothers tried to dissuade her. "No, don't come," they said. "You'll be tired and hungry. We don't do anything in the forest. We just walk all day until we are tired." But she insisted, so they finally agreed to take her. They walked in the forest all day until they reached the cow's home. The older boy wanted to keep the cow a secret, but his younger brother, very hungry, pleaded, "Please, I will die if I don't have some food. Call the cow and let's eat." They called the cow, and she came and gave the brothers food, which they ate. When they returned home, the stepsister told her mother, "I know my brother's secret. There is a cow in the forest that feeds them every day." The next day, the stepmother went to her husband and said, "You know I am pregnant and need to eat very well for our baby to be strong. Bring me the cow from the forest." "What cow?" her husband asked. "I know your secret," she replied. "I want the cow that feeds your children." Reluctantly, the husband brought the cow from the forest and gave it to his wife. "Kill it," she demanded. "I must eat its meat to make my baby strong." Her husband tried to argue, but she insisted, so he agreed and picked up his knife. But as he tried to kill the cow, it refused to die. The woman threatened, "If the cow doesn't die, I will kill your two children." When the children heard this, they said, "Let the cow die." And the cow died. The woman then tried to skin the cow, but the skin refused to come off. She said, "If this skin doesn't come off, I will kill the children." The children pleaded, "Let the skin come off," and it did. Next, the woman put the meat into a pot to cook, but it refused to cook. She said, "If the meat doesn't cook, I will kill the children." The children said, "Let the meat cook," and it began to cook. When the meat was cooked, the woman tried to take the pot off the fire, but it wouldn't move. She threatened, "If the pot doesn't come off the fire, I will kill the children." The children said, "Let the pot come off the fire," and it did. The woman then took the meat out of the pot and ate it. The two brothers were worried. "Now our stepmother has killed our cow and eaten its meat. She wants to kill us next. We must run away." So they fled into the forest. There, they became separated, each going in different directions. Years passed, and the brothers grew up. The younger brother wandered far, while the older brother stayed near the forest. One day, while walking near a village, the older brother saw a girl and fell in love with her. She was the daughter of the chief, and she was the most beautiful of all his daughters. The young man and the girl began to meet secretly and fell in love. At that time, there was a war between villages, and every night enemies would attack the village. The young man fought valiantly for the chief every night. One day, the chief asked his men, "Who is the stranger who comes every night to fight beside me? I want to meet him." The chief told everyone to gather for a meeting. When they were all together, he called his daughters and said, "Bring your husbands and lovers here so I can see them." All the chief's daughters came with their husbands and lovers. The young man who loved the chief's most beautiful daughter had fallen ill with smallpox and was sitting far away, not looking up. The chief's beautiful daughter ran to him and took his hand. "What are you doing?" the chief shouted. "Come away from that man. He has smallpox. But father, the girl said, this is the man who fights beside you every night. He is brave and strong. I love him and want to marry him. Double quotes. The chief was furious and did not want his daughter to marry a man with smallpox. He began to shout at her. Then he stopped. People were staring at him. What's the matter? The chief asked, noticing their gaze. Your head, sir, they said. It's growing. It's getting bigger and bigger. Double quotes. The chief put his hands up to his head. It was true, his head was indeed growing larger. Double quotes. Please, father, the daughter pleaded. Please let me marry this man. If you don't, your head will keep growing until it's too big. Seeing the truth of her words, the chief relented and allowed them to marry. The young man and the chief's daughter were wed, and they lived happily ever after. Moral of the story: kindness and bravery will ultimately lead to a happier life, even in the face of adversity.